What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please do smack that subscription button. Let's get straight into today's video, which is about player reset in eFootball. Could we actually lose our cards going forward in a future update? Let's get into that and see the pros and cons of it and whether it can happen. Because obviously they've had a massive emphasis on cards and it's been hugely successful. But what would a player or a squad reset actually mean to the infrastructure and the ecosystem? Well, we already have a blueprint for how they could manage it, right? I hope, honestly, that you guys get in touch in the comment section of this video, because we already know that they have taken away cards before. But could this happen in a bigger scale in a future update? You will see here that we have some unavailable players and you can't play them in a match. You literally can't use them in your game plan. You can't use them. They're worthless. Now, these cards that you're seeing on screen here is my collected cards. But in eFootball 23 to 24, I have some of the cards here, and we'll show you these in a minute. And this is what I really love about eFootball currently and the way that they've handled migration of cards throughout the years. I have my new cards that you're seeing here, my hugely overall rated cards such as Pele, but I also have some of my favorites. As you see here, my first ever signing, Patrick Vieira, Inzaghi, Romario, Puyol, Nakata. All of these cards, the first ever R10 card, the first ever Romario card that was an absolute beast that played 500 plus games for me. Similarly with Maldini, over 500 games for me in eFootball 22, 23, all the way up. And these were bonus cards that you got from migrating over from PES 2021 season update, when it was still PES, to eFootball 2022 with the beta and open online performance test. But it's not just about overall beastly cards. It's also about cards that you just can't get anymore. You've got Dani Alves there. You've got Ronaldo when he was still at Manchester United as a club pack. It's not just about overall cards. You know, it's about sometimes having cards that you've collected are fun cards. While they've updated certain cards like PK here for the new retro pack, it is still interesting. Now, as I already mentioned, they've already done this with managers previously and with players. This was Klopp. Klopp is no longer managing Liverpool, so you can't use him anymore. And it's not unheard of. Obviously, EAFC 26 and NBA 2K 26, they will have reset squads. Now, I don't know will Konami go down this road. I don't want this video to be, all doom and gloom, because I genuinely don't think that they will reset the squads. If they're going to do it, I'll get into that and what way they'll manage it at the end of the video. But the number one reason I don't think that they do it is what you're seeing on screen here. The game is just going from strength to strength to strength financially. It's very important that you listen to that word, financially. I don't have shares. It's irrelevant to me how much money they make. But the truth and the reality of it is that they are growing year on year and even quarter on quarter. You can see here that the revenue is up. For the first time ever, they have landed in the top 15 mobile games currently making this much revenue or bringing in this much revenue in a month. So this is for games and companies that are making 50 million plus in revenue in a month. And in July, Konami made 66 million in profit, right? Not in profit, sorry, in revenue. But a lot of that is profit. Now, while I don't think that they'll do a player reset, when you think about that literally you log in and all your cards are going to be gone, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that there'll be an easier solution to it. I do feel that currently, and this is me saying it, right, in a very, 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 very lucky position that I'm a streamer, I've opened a lot of packs, you guys watch, you like the content and all that, right? But I do think that we are at this stage now where is there to go really with the game? Now, this is not me saying on one side or the other that I want a reset. I don't think that we should. I want to still be able to play with my old Vieira compared to this Vieira. But there's nowhere really for these cards to upgrade to with the current stats and players in the game. Like Pele, how could you improve a centre forward or a deep line centre forward or an attacking midfielder from Pele? He literally has every stat maxed out. So unless they change the gameplay, these cards that you're seeing, which is another big issue, is newcomers, unless they spin or unless they actually put a lot of time in. Like all of these cards, even Cole Palmer, one of the best players in the Premier League at the moment, his regular card, his non-special card, it's largely irrelevant compared to any of the player of the weeks that you get free. You know what I mean? So it's there isn't really a balance there at all. Also, you bring in the fact that we've had a lot of special cards with Showtime skills, such as Messi that you're seeing here with the MSN Blitz Curler version of him. And we've also had recently Cristiano Ronaldo with the phenomenal finishing bullet header. And Visionary Pass Vitinha. You've got Pele, obviously, with a double Showtime skill. And you've all these boosters. But I feel like that the kind of fun factor of using these old cards that you just can't get anymore. There's no marketplace that you can get these cards anymore. So if you want to sign Dani Alves, you literally can't. It's impossible. Now, while I think we will get news at eFootball Connect, I don't think it's going to be about a player reset, right? I know that a lot of people will be in the comments, and let me know in the comments. I'm actually asking your opinions, right? Let me know if you'd be in favor of a player reset or you just don't want to hear any talk of it at all. That's a huge thing in the game that you've built up your squad over years. But I do feel that it's definitely a topic of conversation that Konami are probably having, because I feel like at the moment, once they balance the gameplay, and trust me, I just cannot see the gameplay staying as it is currently. It's just way too chaotic. And it happens all the time. When a new update or a major update is coming, they're probably turning their focus onto really kind of tightening the gameplay, which I think that they will do. But also on top of that, right, and the wider aspect of this is, currently at the moment, there's not really much to play for apart from collecting cards. I would think that this would be a huge addition to it. And let me know, this is just me thinking ideas. How about instead of just your regular dream team, that is staying untouched, but you also have this elite category dream team or an elite category 1v1 PvP experience that once you get to Division 3, you qualify for this, where it is a 25-26 season or 26 to the 27 season, whichever is the current season that they start to do this. And you can only use current day cards, but there's huge rewards for it. And there's old school retro cards or new school retro cards or any of these cards that you have. You're not going to be able to use them in this specific mode. It would literally just be a team building mode where you're using the current cards. You can buy standard cards, you can buy obviously or use any of the premium cards, but these old school cards that you're seeing here, you could still use them in Dream Team, you could still use them in the events, you could still use them in pretty much every other aspect of the game, co-op, 1v1, friend match, all of that, right? But the older cards would be tied to the older play modes, right? Because I understand that somebody that is a Liverpool fan, they will never be able to get a Diaz card again. Kieran Tierney, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It's not just about having the best of the best of the best cards, right? One thing I will mention before we end this video is, in the terms and conditions, this can change at any time, right? And this is why I think that the reset, some sort of reset will happen eventually, whether it happens, next year, the year after, or some sort of iteration of the game. I honestly want to hear your thoughts on it, and I will kind of wrap them all up and see where the consensus is with it. I feel like that the kind of slow grind, or even the fast grind at the start of the game, right? You remember when you had my earlier content, just speaking personally for me, right? And let me bore you for a second. My previous content, like when I started streaming on eFootball 22 and 23, I literally did tons of videos, GP alternatives, free alternatives to Maldini, Vieira, Romario, and you'd have players that would compete maybe 75, 85% of what a premium card would be. There is currently just no way that you can get a GP card to compare with the top 100 meta cards in the game. It's just impossible. So I feel like that the current licenses and the current system within Dream Team that they have with the current players is definitely lagging behind every month that the game goes on. And what are they going to do? Release cards that are like 120 overall, 150 overall? The game becomes Fast and the Furious, where they just introduce bigger, better, bolder every time. So I want to know your thoughts, right? I know it's a scary topic if people have, put in a lot of money into their accounts, right? I understand that, and it's a very sensitive one because people have had this as a card collection if they love collecting old school cards. And I'm really attached to some of my old cards, as sad and all as that sounds. I actually am. I love playing with the OG squad sometimes. But let me know what you guys think, right? It's a bit of a different video. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to smack that subscribe button. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you say.